Time now for the Roundtable on Conway Corporation Channel 5. It's the Conway Regional Health System pregame show. I'm Jeff, joined by Levi, joined by Tim, the voices of the Wampus Cats. And let's go back. Let's go back to last Friday night. How difficult was that game to call, guys? 63-7, and it wasn't as close as the scoreboard indicated.
It wasn't difficult at all. I mean, it sounds like it would be a trudge, right? But all of that scoring for us happened in the first half, and 21 points of it came from defensive plays. So it was just exciting, even though, I mean, obviously really one-sided, but it's interesting, right? Because going into it that North Little Rock is not in a good spot. You know that they're rebuilding, they're trying to turn things around. But your team still has to go out there and perform. Like even if they know that, like they still got to go out there and do it. And man, our defense just stepped up. I had 9 turnovers on the night, 3 interceptions returned for touchdowns in the first half, and including one of the most exciting plays I think I've ever seen from Jacoby Way, the one-handed interception. So yeah, it sounds like it would have been a hard game to call, but man, it was just a blast watching our kids go out there and just perform up to their level and not perform down to the level of the team they were playing.
I would tell you that while it was exciting, I'm an old defensive guy, so defensively that was just great to watch, great theater. No points given up the entire game by your defense. They scored on a punt return. And Buck James talked about this earlier, and I did not know this, didn't recognize the number, 23 snaps in the first half and 63 points on the board. I don't know how that math works. I'm not really good at math, but that's an incredible stat. And to Levi's point, the effort still had to be there, and nobody was shutting it down. We were still playing hard all the way through the ball game.
In the Thursday Arkansas Democrat Gazette, they always had the standings and just kind of a look ahead for the weekend of high school football. And I noticed this morning in the paper that it said that our defense is the stingiest in 7A, and only PA's offense has scored more points. Well, I'd be willing to bet that our defense has probably scored more points too than just about any other defense in the state. So things going really well on both sides of the ball. Tonight, it's one of those games, and Levi, you and I both remember sitting in the stands watching an 0-5 team beat a 5-0 team. So the whole old adage of throwing out the records when Conway and Cabot meet, we've seen it play out, but that's true tonight as well. We're 5-0, they're 2-3, but 1-1 in conference play. Important game really for both sides for different reasons.
Yeah, Cabot's 1-1 in conference play, and they're coming off of a win at Southwest, really big win that, is going to keep them where they want to be in the rankings. Well, a win over us would really help get them up higher in the rankings. Also, just the fact they want to beat us all the time. Right. I mean, that's just how it is. But incredibly tough place to go and play and get a win. We learned that the hard way 2 years ago. And it's just a different place, man. It's a different place to play. And this is a prototypical Cabot team. They're big on the offensive line. They want to run the ball. They're not running the wing tee or dead tee or whatever it was they used to run. But they still run the ball a lot. That shortens games. It's frustrating if you're constantly picking up first downs and keeping drives alive. So it's going to be a huge test for our defense, especially to get off the field as much as possible, get that ball back to our offense. I think offensively, we're going to be fine. It's just the defense. Can they do what they've been doing the last few games, and can they get us the ball back quickly so we can go do what we do on offense?
This may be a game where we finally have to play our starters into the second half. And so how they respond to a tight ball game at half, if that indeed is the case, that's likely the case. So you're going to have to play probably longer than you've played all year long. And you're going to play a not a tougher team, really. I think they're going to come at us really hard. They're already going to be mad that we're having a great year and they're struggling a little bit. So they're going to be angry. We don't play with our normal strength and tackles and all that stuff. We're gonna have our hands full, and so we have to do what we do. I think if we play like we can play, then we'll win the ball game. But we're gonna have to bring it, and that's been the coach's message all week: is you better get ready for a fight because you're getting one.
Speaking of the starters on defense, because of their offense and what they like to do philosophically, run the ball, will we see a change in who we send out at the beginning of the game and maybe not heavy on the defensive backside?
Yeah, so I think there you might see an extra lineman in there at times. Cabot they like to run tight end and H back at the same time, so sometimes they only have two receivers out on the field. So I think we might definitely see maybe one less linebacker in the package at times to try and counter that. But the thing is, I mean, defensive line is a huge strength for us. So they're going to try and do what they can to pick up first downs, but our defensive line is really going to have to help shut that off.
All right, guys, thanks. Should be a good one tonight. Pregame is at 6:30. Well, the kickoff at 7 o'clock on Conway Corp Channel 5 and online at conwaycorp.com/WC2Go.